Okay, so best laid plans. I can't believe this has happened. I hope that everyone finds me directly. I did try to let you know in the other live. So, oh, can you believe it? I will try and find you on the other one now. No idea what's going on. Hopeless, hopeless. What a hopeless case. Okay. Let's see. I hope that you can still see me. And, oh, did you all find me? Is everyone coming over from the original scheduled live? If you can let me know by hitting the thumbs up that you can hear me, or comment in the chat box, that would be great. Let me know. Oops, probably not then because I pressed silence, so that didn't help. So let me know if Nadia's here. Ali was there. Who else? I feel like I lost you all too quickly. What a fail that was. Note to self. Okay, let me just delete the other ones and hopefully I can find everybody. I'm going to try and delete that one. And then, hello. Can you all let me know? I can't see any chat. So if you could let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. Okay, I've deleted the other one, so hopefully you'll all find me and not desert me. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Should be everyone. Okay, so I got some thumbs up. I can see that. Okay, now I've got live chat. There. I had the wrong thing on. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Gosh. I was psyching myself up all evening, and then I had that big flop. Way to go, Mel. Anyway, thank you. Look at you amazing people. Thank you for being here. Such a relief. You have no idea. I thought I was so good. Oh, phew. Okay. Excellent. Yay. Look at all you awesome folks. Yay. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you could all do me a favor and let me know if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button. I don't know what it looks like when you're on whatever device you're on, that sort of thing. And also let me know if the fan is annoying, because that's potentially the case. But anyway, let's get it. So it's great to see you too, Nolene. Well, you know, like here. Yay. Okay. Now, I'll do a little intro and hopefully put in the description box down below where people can start to watch from, because I've had 3 minutes of fluffing around. So good, great, because it's really, really hot here, so I need the fan on. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, although it looks like a lot of amazing, brilliant faces are here live, my name is Mel and I create content around my journey to get organised in my home, heart, body and soul. Each video that I upload fits into one of those 4 categories, and today's video is a live, obviously, about setting goals and how I went about setting my goals this year. I'm not sure if other people left it to the last minute as I did, but in the past I did a kind of a rush job of setting goals, and I kind of went for the perfection route. Like, hands up if you all are familiar with the perfection route, that one where you want to get it right so you never do it kind of thing. And I think I, in the past, had rushed goals and didn't really know how to set them, didn't really follow the steps that needed to be followed in order for me to hopefully have some success. So while this is about setting goals, heads up, full disclosure, have no idea if the way that I've done it this particular year will work. Just full disclosure. I'm hoping it works. It's a very big experiment of mine. I followed all the steps. If you've been following along on the planner series, where originally the first thing we did was think about values and what's important, identify who we are, what we stand for, basically, why we're here. The next step was what was the next step? I've already forgotten. So we set the values. We also reviewed the year and just had a look about what 2018 did for us. And that was really where a lot of this realization for me came up, the realization that I didn't give myself a lot of credit for what I did achieve in 2018, but also that I didn't really plan 2018. In fact, in this office clear out that I did, which was the third step, which was to declutter a surface or a space, or like I did the massive office declutter, I found all my planners from 2017 and nothing from 2018. I don't know how I got through 2018, to be quite honest. So, 2019 was going to be different. Shannon, I have been looking at Leanne Baker's stuff. She is amazing. And I liked her planners, but I resisted the temptation. Yes. Well, I'm hoping that rather than kind of like doing all the goals that I've been seeing like come up in my news feed and all that sort of stuff in the time that they needed me to do it, I hope that the way that I have done it really sets me up to achieve my goals this year. And I thought I would share with you the way that I was doing it. It's not original, and I'm probably doing it like a billion other people. So you may or may not. Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks, Shannon. I'll keep that in mind. I probably am not doing any different, but hopefully the way I've done it this year really makes it happen. I've got lots of different things in place. I'll go through how I've done it, but I have set it all up, and I thought I'll just have a little chat over here with you guys first and then talk about how I did it, if that's something that you're interested in. Okay, so where are we? Holly, yes, goals are tricky. And I found for a lot of times, Nadia, Mel Robbins is on my list to talk about today. But Holly, I found a lot of times, particularly with young kids, it's really hard to set goals. You're like, nah, the tree's down, Joanne. That's excellent. Great. Okay. So maybe I should just go through my list of how I set up. I actually have a list. I've got it all planned. All right. So we've done the intro. Okay, and I really wanted to, like I've written down here, no expert. So a lot of the stuff that I have and the way that I've approached this has come from some studies at university. So some of the courses that I had to do, we did have to do goal setting and that sort of stuff. And it still didn't sink in, like I still didn't master it. And maybe I haven't yet, but I feel very in control this year. So maybe I have, who knows? Obviously research related to my studies, but also, that very reliable resource called YouTube and Pinterest and Google and Wiki. So definitely the scientific proven strategies to do research. That has been something that I've done this year. And like I said, I'm still learning. So this is kind of the test. Like when we look at this in 12 months' time and I'm reviewing how 2019 went, then hopefully I've mastered it. But if I've learnt anything over the last 40 years, but in the last 18 months when I've really been spending time reflecting on me and what I feel works, I don't actually want to reach the destination. I'm really, really enjoying the travel. Like I really enjoy the learning that I'm getting along the way. So I think that might have been a bit of a barrier last year. I think I didn't have that realization about myself. I didn't have an acknowledgement of what I would feel like when I achieved the goals. So I kind of put off reaching them because it's ultimately in my control, but I put off reaching them because I was enjoying the process too much. So that's something that I definitely took into account when I was setting my goals this year. Okay. Now, like with anything, you take from it as you will. Like I said, it's really all in the journey. And everyone's journey is so individual. Everyone's current view, everyone's perspective, everyone's life situation, it is so different. I feel that too, Shannon. I feel like I have a new sense of confidence that I never really had. So yes, definitely, Holly, that's it. Yes, Nadia, that was my biggest thing. Like, I think the other realization when I did the reflection part of this process was realizing that I hadn't acknowledged or acknowledged the fact that I graduated from uni this year. That day was such a blur for me, and my friends and my mum were so excited for me, and they were taking photos and I was like, yeah, come on, let's go. This is weird. But I really should have been enjoying it and acknowledging the effort that it took to get there, however many years it took. It was no mean feat. I had 2 babies while I was studying on and off. Like, I gave birth to Jonah, and 3 days later I was sitting in an exam. So, I didn't give myself any of that credit. But anyway, it's a pretty big thing. Yes, I don't know how I did it, Holly. I can't imagine it now. So thank you, Shannon. Nolene, how do you push yourself if you're tired? Anxiety makes me physically tired on my day off. I just want to do nothing, and that's okay. Nothing is good. Like, you're saying you get 1 day off. Your body needs to rest. It's normal to want to do that. And I think that it's like this vicious cycle. The more that we try to force ourselves out of that natural need to rest, the harder it is to get ourselves out of that natural need to rest. So you just kind of got to do it. Just rest and give yourself a break. That, obviously no expert, but that's something that I've really learnt, like learning to just go, yeah, today's a low day. Take it as it comes. Realistically, it doesn't last forever, but it just feels like it will. So, okay. So all of that. The spoons theory, Holly. I don't know the spoons theory. Do I? I'll have to talk to you about that, I think. Okay. I have, like, this is my beautiful, crazy brain that I write everything down, like even floor plans and dreams, and it's all in here. I even have like pages of what I dream of having a planner someday, that sort of thing. Everything, like, it's even got skills on it and scribble, and I love this. This was something that I really found helped me this year, was having just one notebook that I wrote everything down. So that is definitely, been something useful and something I recommend. Just find one notebook where you just kind of brain dump and brain sweep whatever you need. Thank you, Catherine. You would have. Just takes time. Need to rest Saturday. It's totally stuffed. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I have, I really need to, I think looking at what you've achieved is important, though. I think that you need to give yourself, lots of credit for what you achieve. G'day, hi, Lisa. All right. Okay, so showing me that, and the number one tip, and this was a tip that I also got from Alon David, who is the 90X planner person. I'll talk more about that in videos to come because I've just signed up for a whole training session basically on his planner, which should arrive anytime soon, but it's more business related. This was kind of more personal related that I'll share with you today, but it may be relevant to you guys as well. So basically I have probably 12 tips. Some may overlap on how to set goals and suggestions from all around the place. And hopefully they're helpful to you. So I'm going to look down and just know that I'm here. So the first tip, and this, like I said, was from Alon David and from many sources really, was to brain dump or brain sweep. I like to think of it as a sweep, like you just kind of sweep in the brain of all of the brain clutter and just write it all down. Like, don't think about spelling, just write it all down. You might end up writing the 5, sweep the kitchen 5 times because that's top of your mind. But once you've written it all down and get it out of your head, it's also a getting things done. I can't remember the author. If you can remember the author, put it down here. But David Allen method, he recommends doing a brain sweep, just getting everything out of your brain, because at the end of the day, our brains can only retain so much. So we need to just get it all out. And, we find ourselves carrying the woman's mental load. Like, we know all of our children's teachers' names, their friends, all of that. So we carry that with us, and I feel like if we just got it all out, wrote it down, had systems and things in place, and we can do it. It's not a new theory. Obviously, David Allen came up with it and everyone else recommends it. So definitely think about doing a brain sweep. Now, people say brain dump. I feel like that just sounds a bit gross. So do a brain sweep. Clean the brain. That's my thoughts there. Yes. Thanks, Gina. Great, Steph. Yeah, David Allen is awesome. I've gleaned a lot. I've read his book. Yes, kind of like a mind map, but just like a list everything down. Gosh, I'm jumping all over the place. Sorry, guys. I'm excited. All right. So do that. Nothing is too big or too small. Like I said, it may be simple as sweep the kitchen floor, but it could also be pay the rego, that sort of stuff. Oh. Uh-oh. Hang on. All good. Okay. Now, we did do the values and reflections. I think that's really important when you're thinking about setting your goals. You really need to know what your values are and do the reflection on the previous year. I feel like brain sweep, values and reflections is so important to get that kind of done. And they will inform your goals. If you hadn't already watched the previous videos of this series, then that kind of activity will inform your goals. So it's really, really valuable if you're struggling with what goals will I have. A lot of people say they don't know what kind of goals to set. No, it's very much like that. But knowing my values and knowing my reflection on the previous year, like knowing what I felt like I should have or could have achieved and didn't, knowing, my failings along that way, then that definitely helped me to inform my goals. That's when you go through and analyze the brain dump. So, do you see a common theme? Are they fitting into certain categories? What feels really urgent? Like, what have you written down 6 times? Like, that's probably the first thing you need to do. If that's coming up for you 6 times, just go do it. So that's a hot tip. And I recommend sitting with the list for a time. So you'll probably like brain dump or brain sweep and then go make a cuppa and you'll think of a half a dozen other things. So go and write that down and then, go hang a load of washing out and write that down. So I often find I have to carry my book around with me to get anything done because I've got 50 things coming at me at different times. There you go, the loo, take your list so you can write it down because let's face it, in theory, that's the one place we're not interrupted. The shower, I find, is a huge place that I think of all the things that I need to do. So if you got a phone nearby, maybe give a shout out to Siri and write a list. What else? That is definitely something. So sit with that list for a while and give it time. So it's no rushed. There's no rush. Like that's probably the thing. I think someone said that they set their goals on January 1st and that was it. There was kind of like a pressure or a suggestion that it needed to be done now. I think your first goal for January or even the first couple of weeks is just to do this pre-work, get over the Christmas and the crazy New Year and all of that. And before in Australia the new school year starts, like really start to give yourself this next couple of weeks to really set yourself up to set good goals. So don't feel like I have to have it done in one day. Give yourself a couple of weeks. That's actually your first goal, is to do nothing but think about your goals and think about how you're going to set them. Don't rush them, because this is for the year. This isn't for, January. Having said that, I have another tip on that, but just wait. Okay, so try to keep them minimal, but also remember that that the idea is, while they're not just for January, you need to reflect on them every month. And I found last year I really needed to do it weekly and possibly daily. And I don't mean read them 50 billion times, but maybe just think about them as something that you're just going to look over every day, every week, and every month. And last year I found I did realize when I wasn't staying on track with goals, because I was doing that monthly review on Soul Sundays, and I found that very, very useful. So I intend on doing those again this month for this year, as much for me as for you guys. Like, I hope that you're interested, but to keep myself accountable, that's what I'll be doing on the first Sunday of every month this year, as a kind of a reflection on how my month has gone and what I've learned and all of that. So what I did for the whole year, I'll be doing every month. And I recommend that. That is recommended highly all over the place as well. I will read comments shortly. So while they won't change each time you reflect on them, they'll become clearer and you will get to know if it really is important to you. So sometimes we can take on goals that other people have kind of put on us. And so it's really important to just, reflect on them and make sure they're yours before you kind of set them in stone. I hope this is making sense. Okay, yes, I believe goals can evolve over time. They can increase in clarity as much as anything. Like, you realize what it is that you really want. So, nothing gets done if I don't have an end date. That's a good idea. I've been thinking about it for a while, but I set an end date of 1st of January. That's great, Shannon. That's the way to go. Have a time. And that's the point of goals as well. We'll get to that part. So you want to, I don't know if everyone can just comment and let me know if you've heard of SMART goals, SMART goals. And that stands for specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic, or there is another word that I'm using, relevant, and time specific. So that's what I'm going to go through now. Yep. Oh, you hadn't heard of SMART goals? Okay. So hopefully this, and I recommend researching it more, because obviously I'm not the goal. Oh, really? Okay, great. Then let me explain my understanding of SMART goals. It's kind of the acronym. So you have S for specific, M, does that make sense? Measurable. I don't even have a word. I'll write it down. Let's see. So they go down like that. And obviously, sorry if it's back to front, but you've got specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic or relevant, and time specific. And that's how you set it. Yes, Holly, me too. But I didn't really understand them, to be fair. So I found ways to explain it for my brain, and hopefully it works for your brain as well, or for anyone who doesn't get them. Okay, so you want to make them specific. And also another tip from Alon David that he recommends write them as if they've already happened. So you wouldn't write just, I want to declutter this year. You would write more specifically, my bedroom is a sanctuary filled with only things that I love or need. And so it's kind of like, okay, that says to me I need to declutter and get rid of the things in the room that I don't love nor need. So while it's the whole goal is to declutter, it's more specific, if you get what I mean. Does that make sense? So, and you want to write it in the positive, so future oriented, that's right, orientated, yes. And definitely how you want to feel in the room. So think about, hi Alison, think about how you want to feel when that goal is achieved. And I think that was something that I hadn't done before. I hadn't really thought about that end result, like what was I actually aiming to feel, because that's what a lot of our goals are about, is a feeling that we're trying to achieve or attain. Okay, so the next one is M, and you want to make them measurable. So how will you know that you've achieved the goal? So again, by knowing how you will feel in the room, that will be a clear indication. Like, I feel calm when I walk in here, I know that I have achieved this goal. So you will make sure in your goal setting that they will have that. And you want to make sure they're achievable or actionable. So that can be, I sometimes struggled with what is really achievable. If I've had the same goal to lose weight for my entire adult, let's face it, adult and teen life, then how come I haven't achieved it? So how is that achievable? Like, what am I missing here? But I think actionable is more the point. Like, can I take actions to achieve this goal? Yes, I can. What actions can I take? And thinking about the three big actions that I can take when I'm reflecting on these goals, this day, this week, this month, that sort of thing. Realism is important. So yeah, like a goal wouldn't be to I want to win lotto. That is not a goal. That's a dream. You want to be very, very specific. Yes, take your time. You just want to be in the moment. And like I said earlier, it's about the journey. It's not about the end result. Like, you learn so much more and makes the end, and I say end because there is no end, the end result's so much more valuable when you've enjoyed the journey and not kind of rushed through. Thanks, Holly. Simplicity. Yes, that's a good one. I bet you do, Alice. Yeah. Okay, so those are the things. So, so you might have the goal to lose 10 kilos this year. Well, that's great, but how will you do that? Like, what are the 3 steps or the 3 things that you will do? So when you're writing your goal to lose 10 kilos, think about how you will achieve that and the things that you have control of. So another thing might be, I don't know, get a promotion at work. At the end of the day, there's a lot of variables that aren't in your control, but what kind of actions can you take that would put you in the best light to achieve the promotion? So you can't just say, I'm going to get a promotion at work by this date and earn an extra $5,000 for the year. What are you going to do? Are you going to, start new projects, stand up more for yourself in meetings? Are you going to step outside of your comfort zone and build social connections? I don't know. Clearly, I haven't worked for a while. Things like that. Is that making sense? Okay. Okay. So you're thinking about the actions that you're going to take in the A. Okay. And relevant. Now, this is why you need to know your values. You need to know if it's relevant to you. Like, are you saying you want to lose 10 kilos because everyone says they want to lose 10 kilos? But is it really what you want? Like, is it just something that you want to look better for someone else, or do you want to feel better for yourself? Like, think about your values and how they align for you. How is it relevant to you? How is this goal relevant to you? And, do they align with your truth? What is it that you're really going to do that's different? If you've lost this 10 kilos, what's going to be better for you? Okay, and the T stands for deadline, so it's the time limit. Think about when you want to have this achieved, whether it's in the 3-month mark or the 6-month mark, if you want to think of it like that. The other thing that I think the T should stand for is track my progress. So thinking about how you will track what's happening and keep yourself on task. So I think that was probably something that I really failed at last year as well, was that I was only looking at the fact that I hadn't reached a certain goal, not how far I'd gotten from the beginning. So I think that that's really important. And I feel like the T really needs to be about tracking and comparing your success to the previous and not to the end, if that makes sense. So you don't want to be thinking, oh, I've lost 10 kilos, but I wanted to lose 40. And but now you've only got 30 to lose. So, keeping in line how far you've come as opposed to how far you've got to go. Okay, and tip 11 is write it all down. Get a piece of paper, write it all down, do what you have to do. Think about writing it in the terms of, this has happened, this makes me feel, this is relevant to me because it's time specific, because I'm choosing to this date, that sort of thing. And number 12 is review regularly. And that was probably number 4 as well. But you definitely want to be reviewing it, whether it's daily, weekly, but at the very least monthly, and tracking your progress from where you started. And that is probably the key there, is reviewing at least monthly. And I am feeling like I need to do weekly. So that is probably my 12 tips to setting goals. I did do a little, you'll imagine, I've started a lot of mine. This was my little brain dump, obviously, and the things that I wanted to achieve. And the word of the year for me was consistency. And that is really going to inform everything that I do. Like, that is the key to success in terms of reaching the goals that I have, like just being consistent. So I felt, well, Alison's word was simplicity, mine is consistency. And I found a few quotes that really aligned with me for that. So success is not about perfection, success is about consistency. And also my favorite author wrote about consistency, and that's Maya Angelou. She wrote, courage is the most important of all virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtues consistently. And I just felt like I did courage last year, stepping out, sharing what's happening, that sort of stuff. I've done courage, and now it's time for consistency. So you guessed, Shannon. Yeah. It just felt like everywhere I turned around, someone was saying consistent. Yes, Holly, a Bujo tracker would be great. Definitely. There are dozens on Pinterest. So just maybe it's a habit tracker. So maybe part of your goal setting is thinking about the habits that you need to form. Acceptance could totally be a word. Yes. And in that could be accept the things that I can change. I think that's but also accept that you're human. If that's a word that feels good for you. And when you think about your goals with acceptance, like, what are they and how does acceptance fit in that? I really struggled to have a word last year. One of the things that I had that helped was thinking about my word in a sentence. So when reflecting on my goals and what I wanted to achieve, thinking about it like, what would brave do? So if I was feeling discouraged or like I couldn't do something or distracted or anything like that, I would come back to what would brave do? And that was pretty much enough to kind of get me going again. And sometimes brave was just taking it slow and letting myself relax. Believe, Alison, that's a nice word. What would believe do? That's good. I think that could work. Who else has a word? Eat more healthy 5 out of 7 days. I can achieve that and it's not feel like I'm cheating. That's excellent, Alison. I really love that. You want a minimum goal and you want a big goal. Yes. Fight feels right too. Yeah. Some people do choose 2 words, but I feel like acceptance probably is right for the thing. Satisfaction. Nice. Shannon, I like that one. Believe in myself, believe in my home. Yeah. I like that, Alison. 2 Alisons. Satisfaction. What would satisfaction do? Should I eat this cake? What would satisfaction do? I like that. Any other words coming at you? Can you let me know, does anybody have any questions about any of the tips that I shared? I don't even know if they made sense. I just rambled them out. Because no matter what your current circumstances, if you can imagine something better for yourself, you can create it. That's a nice quote, Nadia. I love that. Yeah, I think weekly minimum is a great idea, Alison. Realistic. What would realistic do? Think about that one a bit more, Joanne. To me, it means being satisfied with my life and not push myself to be someone I'm not. Lovely. And that's the thing with choosing your word. It has to be something that means something to you and you define it for you. That's the important thing about choosing words. How specific do I make my goals? Very specific. Like, let me find one for you. Okay. So I had them, for me, I set them in the 4 areas, obviously. And I'm sorry, Vero, I can't understand what you've written. Maybe Happy New Year? I don't know. So I set them in the 4 categories of home, heart, body, and soul. So I had goals specific to each of those. So I definitely had that. And then within those, I had certain projects that I wanted to achieve in those. So obviously decluttering was a project, and then specifically my goal is to only own things that we love and need. And that's because we'll be moving house at the end of this year. So I only want to pack the stuff that we love and need. I don't want to be packing rubbish. I don't want to be packing, old Christmas decorations that we'll never use again. I don't want to be packing anything that we don't need or love. So definitely need to keep them very specific. And like I said, as you reflect on them, you will clarify them. Yeah. So I set them, like I said, in projects. Let me just find mine. So in the home, I have the project clean and tidy, and specifically in those, I want to have my very specific goal. Let me make sure I get it all in there, is to have a clean and tidy home within 15 minutes every day. That's kind of a long-term goal. And there are a bazillion little steps that I need to make to get there. And that will be, that's my big goal. And then every week I will set a goal that will take me a step closer to that. Does that make sense? I should have written them down for you first, huh? Tip number 11, write them down. But I'm waiting for my planner, so that's it. Hi, Helena. I watched Tidying Up on Netflix. I watched one episode. I kind of got bored. I hope that, I sort of fast forwarded through it. I had done a KonMari a few years ago when I first started my channel. I did a lot of KonMari stuff, and I got to books, I think. So if you haven't already seen those, go and check them out. I'm pretty sure they're still there. I didn't delete any. But I did start KonMari. I've come so far since that. And I just found I'd read her book. I'd listened to the audio book. I'd read her book twice, in fact. The series just didn't grab me yet. I'll try it again. Maybe I was just in a bad mood. I look forward to seeing all the YouTube videos on moving and seeing how you achieve your goals to get it. Thank you, Shannon. Got lots coming up. I just wanted to set this foundation, and the next video will be about a vision board and how to create a vision board. And I will share parts of my vision board, but it's very private, really, I feel. But just some little hints and tips. So make them just to me or our household. I spend a lot of time goal setting already with my children and their therapists and doctors. So I guess, I get you, Holly. Like, I found that probably the hardest thing with Austin's stuff was setting goals for him. And I was like, I just want him to be happy. Is that not a goal? But yeah, I get what you mean. I would perhaps maybe just start with one goal for yourself, Holly. Like, it sounds like with all of the demands of the children, I would maybe be looking at a goal about taking care of yourself in all of that. Like, what do you do for you around those therapies and doctors and all of that sort of stuff? So have a real think about the areas in last year that you felt didn't work out so well, and how could you prevent them from happening this year? And that will help to inform a lot of your goals. The reflection part will be really, really important for you. And think about how you want to feel in situations that didn't go well last year. That will inform your goals as well. And it will be consistent. Yep. Yes, consistency is a great word. I feel like it's the first word that I felt very confident with. I've had different words over the years, but consistency is it. I didn't watch Consumed either, Joe, but I should check it out. Yeah. I liked it for the clothes, and I got to the books, I think, but I hadn't got any further. And I like the idea of, with the KonMari method, I do all the folding. I fold the way she does. I love that folding. I don't always set it in the cupboard the way that she does, but that's how I fold all my clothes now. But I just, I think at the end of the day, like a cooking pan doesn't spark joy for me at all. And if I threw out everything that didn't spark joy, I'd probably have no cooking utensils. Because let's face it. And I'm not in a position to go and buy things that would spark joy. So I just had to be a little bit more realistic. Yes, Holly, you should have seen, actually, if you can find the video of where I did my first clothes declutter, then definitely check it out, because it was mountains and mountains of clothes. That's probably the biggest thing I've taken from the KonMari method, is getting rid of clothes. Like, if something doesn't feel good now, I just toss it. I don't even think about it. But that first one, I actually probably went too far with that, because I often think, I wish I'd kind of kept that. definitely some pajamas. I threw so many pajamas out in that first KonMari thing, and I'm like, I need those PJs. Oh, my Miss 5 and Miss 11 are both still awake. They're just back today from nannies. So, any other questions? I've kept you for nearly 45 minutes. I will probably show my old vision board that I did a couple of years ago in the next vision board and just talk about what worked and what didn't. I found it today, actually. Finishing up, I finished cleaning out there as well. Excuse me. Any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback? Yep, I get you, Shannon. I know. It's a crazy hour. I need to go to bed too. Yes, love need news. Who's that, Holly? Yeah, I started a vision board a couple of years ago, I think. And Chloe Jane's journey. Okay. Oh. Good night, Catherine. I'm heading to bed myself directly. McCavey. Jessica McCavey. Okay, I'll check her out. Sounds very wise. Oh, Joe. I hope he has a good day back at work. I know after last week, that sounds full on. But personally, I'm like, meh. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go in about probably another 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, it's a crazy hour. I really appreciate you coming. I can't thank you all enough for being here because I know that, especially for us Australians, it's really quite late. I need to get up tomorrow and do a big clean. A whole house clean with me will be filmed tomorrow. I need to have it all done by 11. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Holly. Just put a link to her channel in there if you like. Excuse me. So a couple more minutes. Did lots of driving today. Had to go and pick up the girls and drop Aussie at nanny. So I think it was about a 5-hour round trip. Exhausted. Trying not to yawn. Any other questions? Any new folk? I'm seeing lots of really wonderful current folk. Oh God, Holly, 3. That's one thing with Aussie. He does like to sleep. Yay, Nadia. Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to let you all go. I'll leave it to the 50-minute mark, which is about a minute and a half. And then I will head off and say goodbye. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Aussie doesn't have the sleep issues, but Maeve has never been a good sleeper and she doesn't have extra issues. It's just sleep. So that's one thing. I think I will sleep well. I'm going to go have a cold shower. It's so hot here. And we'll try, I might even do another specific goal setting video to actually share my actual goals because this one was a bit of a flop, I feel. Good night. Thank you so much. 1 more minute and I'll go. If you have any other questions, there is a little thumbs up button up the top here somewhere. If you could all hit that. Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is here, but it's stupid. Oh, that sucks, Nadia. I just heard one of my kids crying, I think. Or may have turned the TV up. I don't know. Oh, really? Thank you, Sigridur. Oh, Sigridur, you are in Iceland. I loved putting that sticker on the map. My husband was so interested in everything. Thank you so much for being here. Water restrictions. That sucks, Helena. Yes, my mum does that. I just get rid of it now. Thanks, Samantha. I hope that you found it useful. Oh, we've gone over the 50-minute mark. So thank you all. I'm sorry that it's time to go. I cannot thank you. Hey, Tammy. Oh, now everyone's coming up. Okay. Thank you all so much for being here. I cannot thank you enough. Bruce is barking at me. I think he thinks I'm talking to myself. So best go. If I can be of any help with your goals, anybody, but Samantha for sure. If you're in the Facebook group, if you're not, then yeah, let me know and I can definitely try to help. I will share mine more specifically, the SMART goals. I'll share maybe some SMART goals printers and printables and things like that, but it's really just as simple as Googling or getting onto Pinterest and searching SMART goals. And also check out Mel Robbins. She has a whole mindset reset thing happening at the minute. That was the other thing I wanted to do. Cass is doing a Hug Your Home challenge. So Cass from Clutterbug, if you don't know her, she's doing just one simple thing. In fact, I'll be doing that tomorrow. Michelle B, MUCHELLEB, she is another one to check out. She's been doing lots of stuff. Lavender, if you're not familiar with her, she does a lot of really beautiful stuff. Erin May Henry is another Australian who does some goal setting and planning and all of that sort of stuff. And Amy Landino, who is amazing. I definitely recommend her. Having said that, those last 4 don't currently have children. So I feel like there's a whole other level of goal setting when it comes to kids, and then you add in the kids with the special needs and the extra challenges and things like that. So not that what they have to say, morning, Mama Mitzi, not what they have to say isn't relevant, but you do have to kind of go, yeah, that's kind of not realistic for me in my stage of life. So do think about that. Excellent. I think a vision board will definitely work. Mama Mitzi, I'm just about to close it off. I'm really sorry. I know it must be very early where you are. You're in the sky. If I remember, you are on the East Coast. Is that right? I won't remember where people live. Not even the stickers. I can't even remember where we put stickers. Okay, I best go. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope that you enjoyed. I shall chat to you in the comments down below. I'm pretty much up to date. I think I'm like 3 comments away from having replied to everyone as of earlier to this video. So hopefully I catch up. Hopefully you've all gotten my replies. I am seeing that my replies are not coming up in the channel aspect of it, the community tab. So apologies if you've commented there and not gotten a reply from me, because it just won't work. But hopefully they fix that soon enough. And I shall see you all in the comments, in the Facebook group, on Instagram, wherever you may be. And thank you once again for being here. You guys are the reason I get out of bed. You're the reason that my house is somewhat semi-clean. But you are my reason and my why. So I cannot thank you enough. Like, if you feel like I do anything for you guys do 10 times more for me. And I hate to sound really corny, but so true. And I just can't find the words that would sufficiently say thank you. So I hope you just know it. And if at any time that you're feeling any kind of discouragement, then just think of this crazy Australian woman sitting in her boiling hot house with her crazy messy house thinking, I'm going to do it for you. So thank you. Mwah. Good night. Good morning. Give it till the 55, because I can't end it on a second thing. So the second it clips over to the 55, I'm gone. She's out of here. Okay. Have a great night. And I shall chat to you, like I said, in the comments. Like, go, Mel. I'm that person. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Okay, ready, set, everyone exit in 10, 9. Let's just do it. Goodbye. Mwah. Thumbs up and share with a mate if you think they could relate. And I shall see you tomorrow. And